Nestled amidst towering mountains lay the village of Whispering Pines. This secluded haven, hidden from the bustling world, was a place where time seemed to stand still. A veil of mist perpetually shrouded the village, lending it an ethereal, almost otherworldly charm. The mist would roll in at dawn, blanketing the village in a soft, silvery haze, and linger until dusk, creating an atmosphere of perpetual twilight. Ancient pines, their branches heavy with years, encircled the village, their needles whispering secrets to the wind. These towering sentinels had stood for centuries, witnessing the passage of countless seasons and the lives of generations of villagers. The villagers were simple folk, their lives intertwined with the rhythms of nature. They rose with the sun and retired with its setting, their days marked by the cycles of planting and harvest, of birth and death. They lived off the land, their days filled with the honest toil of farming and foraging. The fields yielded crops that sustained them, while the forest provided herbs and wild fruits, a bounty from the earth that they cherished and respected. Life in Whispering Pines was peaceful, yet an undercurrent of unease ran through its heart. The tranquility was often punctuated by strange occurrences, unexplained sounds in the night, and fleeting shadows that danced at the edge of vision. The villagers spoke in hushed tones of the old woman who lived at the edge of the forest. Her presence was a constant source of speculation and mystery, her life shrouded in tales of ancient magic and forgotten lore. They called her Obasan Sato, and her name was spoken with a mixture of fear and reverence. She was said to possess knowledge of the old ways, of rituals and spells that had been passed down through generations, a keeper of secrets that the modern world had long forgotten. Legends surrounded Obasan Sato, tales whispered around crackling fires on cold winter nights. Some said she was a powerful sorceress, her cottage filled with strange herbs and bubbling potions. Others claimed she was a malevolent spirit, her heart filled with malice towards the villagers. Children were warned to stay away from the edge of the forest, their mothers' voices laced with fear.
"Don't stray too far," they would caution, their eyes wide with worry. Obasan Sato watches, and she shows no mercy.
One sunny afternoon, a young boy named Ren played at the edge of the village, his laughter echoing through the still air. Ren was a curious and adventurous soul, his heart filled with a thirst for the unknown. He had heard the whispers about Obasan Sato, but he refused to be cowed by fear.
"Ren, come back!" his mother called, her voice sharp with worry. "How many times have I told you not to go near the forest's edge?"
But Ren was too far away, his attention captured by the beckoning shadows of the woods. He ventured deeper into the forest, the sunlight dimming as the trees closed in around him. The once bright and welcoming path now seemed to be swallowed by shadows, each step taking him further into the unknown. The forest seemed alive, its ancient trees whispering secrets that only the wind could understand. The air grew heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth. It was a rich, intoxicating aroma that filled his lungs with every breath. The ground beneath his feet was soft and spongy, covered in a thick carpet of fallen needles that muffled his footsteps. Strange noises filtered through the undergrowth, the rustling of leaves, the snapping of twigs, and the occasional scurrying of unseen creatures. Each sound seemed to amplify the sense of mystery and wonder that enveloped him. The distant cry of a bird echoed through the trees, a haunting melody that added to the eerie atmosphere. It was as if the forest itself was trying to communicate with him, to tell him stories of old.
Ren pressed on, his heart pounding with a mixture of fear and excitement. Each step was a test of his courage, a challenge to his resolve. He could feel the weight of the forest's history pressing down on him, urging him to turn back. But he was determined to see this journey through. He had never been this deep into the forest before. The trees here were older, their trunks thicker and their branches more gnarled. It was a place that few dared to venture, a place where legends were born. The whispers of Obasan Sato seemed to echo all around him, urging him forward. Her stories of the forest's magic and mystery had always fascinated him, and now he was living them. He could almost hear her voice in the rustling leaves, guiding him on his path.
Finally, through a break in the trees, he saw it. A small, ramshackle cottage, smoke curling lazily from its chimney. It was exactly as Obasan Sato had described, a relic from another time, hidden away in the heart of the forest. Ren's heart swelled with a sense of accomplishment and anticipation as he approached the cottage, ready to uncover the secrets that lay within. Hesitantly, Ren approached the cottage. The door creaked open as if inviting him inside. The interior was dark and dusty, lit only by a single flickering candle. Strange and wonderful objects filled the room, herbs hanging from the rafters, jars filled with colorful liquids, and books bound in leather. A fire crackled in the hearth, and seated before it was an old woman. Her eyes, as dark and deep as the forest itself, seemed to pierce Ren's very soul. This was Obasan Sato.
So you have come. I have been expecting you.
Why? What do you want with me?
Obasan Sato chuckled, a chilling sound that sent shivers down Ren's spine.
You seek adventure, boy. But be warned. Not all adventures end well. Some leave scars deeper than any wound. Some reveal the darkness that lies within us all.
Fear, cold and sharp, gripped Ren's heart. He had to get away from this place, from this woman. He turned to flee, but the cottage door slammed shut with a resounding boom. He was trapped. Panic surged through him, threatening to overwhelm him. He pounded on the door, his cries echoing through the silent cottage.
There is no escape from yourself, boy. You can run, but you cannot hide from what you are.
But Obasan Sato simply watched him, a knowing smile playing on her lips. Ren sank to the floor, his fear threatening to consume him. But then, a strange thing happened. As he looked around the cottage at the strange and wonderful objects that filled it, his fear began to give way to curiosity. He realized that Obasan Sato was right. He couldn't run from his fears. He had to face them.
What do you want to show me?
He asked, his voice trembling slightly but firm. Obasan Sato smiled, a genuine smile this time, and gestured for him to follow her.
Follow me.
Obasan Sato led Ren to a small dusty mirror tucked away in a corner of the cottage.
Look.
She commanded, her voice surprisingly gentle. Ren hesitated for a moment, then stepped forward and peered into the mirror. He gasped. Staring back at him wasn't his reflection, but the image of a lion, its eyes blazing with courage and determination.
The bravest of hearts often beat beneath the most unassuming of exteriors. True courage lies not in the absence of fear, but in the will to confront it.
Ren stared at the lion in the mirror. Its image burned into his mind. He understood. Ren left the cottage, stepping back into the forest. The trees seemed less menacing now, the shadows less daunting. He walked with a newfound confidence, his fear replaced by a quiet determination. When he finally emerged from the forest, the villagers gathered around him, their faces etched with worry and relief.
Ren, what happened? We were so worried.
Ren looked at his mother, then at the other villagers, their faces filled with a mixture of fear and curiosity. He knew then what he had to do. He told them about Obasan Sato, about her wisdom and her tests. She was a figure of great reverence, known for her deep understanding of the human spirit and the trials she set to reveal one's true character. Her presence in the dense forest was almost mythical, a guardian of ancient secrets and timeless wisdom. He told them about the lion in the mirror, about the courage that resided within them all. The lion was not just a reflection, but a symbol of the inner strength that each person possessed, waiting to be awakened. It was a powerful reminder that bravery was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. At first, the villagers were skeptical. They had heard many tales and legends, but this one seemed different, almost too fantastical to believe. Doubt clouded their minds as they struggled to grasp the possibility of such inner power. But as Ren spoke, his voice filled with conviction, they began to listen. His words were not just stories, they were filled with a truth that resonated deep within their hearts. Ren's passion and belief in the legend of Obasan Sato began to break through their skepticism. They saw the change in him, the fear replaced by courage, and they knew that what he said was true. Ren's transformation was undeniable. The once timid boy now stood tall, his eyes shining with a newfound confidence that inspired those around him. From that day forward, Ren became a symbol of courage for the villagers of Whispering Pines. His journey from fear to bravery became a beacon of hope, showing that anyone could overcome their fears if they believed in themselves. He had faced his fears and emerged stronger, and in doing so, he had shown them that they could too. The forest, once a place of mystery and fear, now stood as a testament to the strength that lay within each of them. And so the legend of Obasan Sato lived on, not as a tale of fear, but as a reminder that true courage lies within us all. Her story continued to inspire generations, a timeless lesson that bravery and wisdom are intertwined, and that the greatest battles are often fought within ourselves.